that doesn't know you, Caroline, do you want to introduce who you are and what you do?
Okay, so my name's Caroline Haywood, MCIM, and I run a business called Purple Genie Digital, and I am a specialist in digital marketing and advertising. I work with businesses all over Yorkshire, and I've worked with them all over the country, actually, helping them promote themselves online.
Terrific, yeah. And for anybody that doesn't know me, my name's Jill Kendall. I'm currently furloughed at the moment, and we're really doing this chat for our networking club, the JC Club. Anybody that's local to us who wants to join, please message us. We're really getting together with local people to try and promote Barnsley, their businesses, put them in touch with the digital world, and really an opportunity to meet other people in business in Barnsley, really.
Jill, I'm sorry, I'm losing you a bit. Oh, you're back. You're back. This is the wonders of technology. You're back. Continue, sorry.
So yeah, so have we caught up on what the JC Club is? Have we got that bit? We recorded that all right?
Yeah, I think, yeah. We're all right.
Oh, yeah.
Technology, it's interrupting everything.
I know. So my day job is managing a cosmetic dental practice called K3 Cosmetic Dental Studio, which I've done for a long time. And we started working together with the JC Club to help people network in the area, really, and promote local business. So, Caroline, do you want to talk through what you've been doing since lockdown? Yeah.
Right. Well, since Boris told us to stay at home, which was bit scary, wasn't it? The thing is that what I've been doing is, because I run a consultancy and it is predominantly on the web. What I've been doing predominantly is looking after the businesses that I work with, because the only way that they can communicate with potential clients is online.
Yeah.
So in a sense, I've felt this tremendous responsibility to support them. So really, it's almost been like my business, who's that kind of thing. And I just need to work out how I'm going to keep everyone maintained online and how to keep their businesses going online, which has been a challenge. But in a way, it's been a tremendous learning curve professionally, because I've got to know my clients a lot better. I've seen everybody's front rooms. We've all met each other's children. And we've been looking at sort of new ways to try and, promote their offerings. So tremendous learning curve, and without meaning to sound cheesy, bonding experience with everybody who I work with. And I've seen some really inspiring things. I can't say anything else. It's been really inspiring, despite challenging.
You've been so busy, because I mean the fear is, isn't it, that everything's doom and gloom. The economy is really on a downer. You know, everybody's got COVID. Obviously people have worries that I'm furloughed at the moment, but I am due to go back next week. And for me, that pause in my life, but I know a lot of people must be worried, but from the people you deal with, it's been really a good time, hasn't it?
Yeah. And I think the thing is that sort of rule 101, what you've just said there, I've picked up on it. Sorry, not rule 101, rule number one. Having fever a little bit is you can't be negative on social media.
No.
So because a lot of the, it's the, first rule of social media management is do not share anything that's political, negative. But how can you do that when currently the current climate, that's all it is? So I think that's been part of the challenge, is being positive online and reassuring. So,
and for us, I've taken it as an opportunity, because I've always worked. So not to work, I've enjoyed the pause, but a chance to reflect and think, hopefully it's an opportunity for people to think about a new direction they might want to go in, or take it as an opportunity, really, because people have not been able to spend. So people that are in a fortunate position moving forward can hopefully look to develop the business in a different way, and work around it, really, which is the challenge of a good entrepreneur, isn't it? And seeing an opportunity time.
Absolutely. One of the businesses that I have been working with, which was literally we had a first meeting the day before Boris Johnson made his speech. We literally sat in the car park and did a socially distanced meeting. We've got to know each other on Zoom chats, but what sort of they were doing is taking this time to pause and really think about their digital strategy and develop it, because they've never had one before now. And then all of a sudden it's been, oh my goodness, it's the only way we can communicate with people. So my sort of thoughts are is that I don't think business will ever be the same again, but I think that there will be a silver lining to that. In that, you know, we've now got access to all this incredible technology where we can communicate with people online.
I mean, nobody'd heard of Zoom before all this, really, had they? I
Even
mean,
people are kicking the bottom a little bit.
well, yeah, because you can, you know, because of what I do, I meet a lot of clients every day. I deal a lot with a lot of people looking for maybe implants, cosmetic work, clear breasts, and I've always met them. And so next week, I'll be doing virtual consultations, and it's surprising how you can adapt.
Yeah.
You know, because you always think, oh, our business is about people, or, I've got lovely staff, and you want to feel that people feel comfortable, but this is reality, and people do adapt to it, don't they? People have mobile phones, they've got hopefully iPads and the technology to and I mean, it's brilliant if you don't want to leave home.
Yeah.
I found myself in lockdown getting where, because normally I'm socializing a lot, I'm going to work, I'm walking my dogs, and I have a lot of friends, and people have said to me, oh, Jill, I bet you're really missing all your social contact. And to be honest, I've enjoyed not going out so much. Enjoyed being in my garden, I've enjoyed having time instead of like rushing about and feeling like 50 million things to do. And let's face it, we'll probably never ever experience it, hopefully, anything like this again. So I'm trying to take from it a real positive. And maybe I did need to slow down a bit instead of trying to rush around and do everything.
I agree with you.
And
I think the positive is, and I know it's appalling. I know this business has gone under, people have lost their jobs, and I get that. Fully sympathise with that, and it's horrendous. However, I also think that if you're going to start from a negative point, you're only going to have a negative outcome. So you've got to try and be, what did we get from this?
Yeah, you've got to see it as an opportunity. And people will want things again, people will want services, so you've got to try and be ahead of the game and offer different things, and think about how to reassure people, and obviously try and work as safe as you possibly can. I mean, from a dental point of view, we've put in loads of new standard operating procedures, risk assessments, PPE, to try and really make sure that people are safe when they come to us. So and I'm just hoping that my daughter can go back to school in September. And then, because that's the other thing for people working, isn't it, if they've got children? I know you've got children as well, and
Yes. So just to sort of outline that then, for anyone who doesn't know, I've got a 9-year-old and a 2-year-old, which has been interesting. I think that in a sense, my 9-year-old, it's almost like as a sort of a working mother of two, I do want to teach my children that, mummy does work, and I want to teach them about work ethic, and maybe one day they might go into my business, and so therefore, I've got, staff. The 2-year-old, my little girl, everyone knows by now because she's been sat on my knee, so it's meant a lot of work, night working, but I've done it because I don't want to let anyone down. Absolutely do not want to let anyone down. On top of this, I weren't going to turn around and say, well, I'm not doing this anymore.
No, it's but it's just tiring, and it's just hopefully there's an end in sight. And I know your partner's really supportive, but he works as well, and it's hard because you're really torn sometimes, aren't you? And it's exhausting as well, and mentally it's not easy. But hopefully it's easing, and hopefully Barnes is not as bad as people are making out as far as a hotspot. I think there's different statistics available that suggest it's not as bad as it appears in what was coming out a few days ago. So hopefully we'll not go into another lockdown. So we can just, forward.
Fingers crossed and try and be positive. So what are we going to do, Jill? When are we going to, I mean, obviously me and you have been on socially distant walks, but we had our wonderful event and all those wonderful people came and it was just wonderful. And then and then it was like, stay at home.
Oh, it seems like a million years ago, doesn't it? Like, and oh gosh. So hopefully we can have another. I mean, everybody loved it. It was really, and there are other people who want to talk, and people that want to connect. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe possibly late August, September might work. I don't know.
Yes. What we could do is keep it. Oh, I just lost you there a little bit, Jill. You just broke up a bit.
I don't know, see where things are sort of late August, maybe September, to have another get together. Maybe have to organise it a bit more distantly.
Yes.
Instead of a bit, anybody talking.
But I think just no speed dating, no speed hugging, and I think that we ought to just maybe look at towards the end of the year and work out a way to get together, because I think ultimately people will be raring to go and they'll want to talk about what's happened.
And I like learn from other people's experience of what's worked for them. Because you can't really bury your head in the sand. You've got to really come up with different strategies. You've got to be strong. You've got to go good leadership and think, this is the way our business is going to get out of this. Hopefully, it's a business that'll survive. We've been established a long time, and I'm still getting inquiries, which I'm going to be dealing with next week. People are looking for dentists, people are looking for treatment. So hopefully, we can just rebuild and get going again. I've been sort of attending sort of various training courses, and early days, I know sort of for dentistry in the likes of Germany and France, they sort of got more or less back to normal after a few weeks. So hopefully, and the demand is there. And I mean, I know from your experience, you've certainly seen it with your customers, that there's a demand for things. So you really want to capitalise on that.
Absolutely.
I know personally, being at home a lot, I've spent a lot more time looking at social media.
Well, exactly. I mean, after the lockdown first happened, there was a significant increase. Like there were like a big surge of increase in social media, in particular Facebook, which is the biggest one. And part of me was almost thinking, is it going to crash? You know what I mean? And if so, what will be the implications there? But obviously it didn't. But I think that people have ultimately turned there to communicate, which the thing is, there's part of me has always thought, and it might sound strange, but part of me has always thought, I know obviously someone like you needs to be where you are, dentists, people need to be at work, there's a percentage of the population needs to be at work, but part of me has always thought, since I learned about this technology, if people can work at home, why not just work at home? I don't understand that. For me, so long as you communicate with your clients on a regular basis and you're accessible, I don't see it as being a problem. So when this happened, I just thought, is this going to be the thing that is going to make businesses realise that actually you can allow people to work from home?
I mean, I've several friends, one friend in particular that has terrible commute every day into work, parking, blah, blah. And she works part of the time from home, and she's almost, it's looking like she might be able to work from home permanently.
Really?
That would make such a difference to
Mm-hmm.
her life.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to a program on Radio 4, and it was saying that for some people it works really well and they're far more productive working from home because they haven't got the noise, the distractions. You can be far more focused because you concentrate. You know, you can sit down and think, right, I'm going to crack on and do this, and you've not got phone ringing, you've not got just noise level.
The only downside, Jill, is the fridge. It's just in the other room. That's the only downside to it. But I mean, I've operated a business at home, out of my office at home, for 2 years, and I aim to see clients about once a fortnight, and I speak to them whenever I do something. They know what I'm doing at any given time. I'm always accessible, and I think that since I've done that, I have never been more productive. And that's someone who's gone through having a baby while I've done that as well. When I used to work in Sheffield, I used to spend 2-3 hours a day on the road. Why? When you can work, you know?
It's just like just waste of time unless you can kind of make calls as you're driving, which is not really ideal.
No. So.
And so hopefully, you know, we can all sort of try and work a bit smarter and more productively, really, which would be you know, a thing. And I mean, going back to homeschooling, I mean, I found it a bit of a challenge.
It's horrible.
But,
let's be blunt.
Yeah. I know some people are like, I don't know, maybe doing 6 hours. I mean, I just try and make sure, my daughter's 9, so I try and make sure she's doing some maths, some English. But you know, there's all these things online which, you know, are all things that she's doing, and I'm thinking, all right, what's she doing? But you know, maybe that's a new way of learning. Maybe in the future kids will be learning more like that than always being in the classroom. And you know, with something called Purple Mash, the teacher's setting stuff, she's logging on herself, finding it, doing her own work, send it into the teacher. And you know, it's quite resourceful way of working, isn't it? So
yeah,
maybe that's go as well for education a bit.
Maybe. So we've got, obviously, we're going to plan another event, aren't we, soon? But then, aside from that, we're going to do more talks like this, aren't we? We're also going to involve other people, aren't we?
If you want to join us.
If anyone wants to do a talk about their business, then, you know, please message us and let us know, and we'd love to hear it. But we have got some guest speakers lined up, so we're very excited about that.
Yeah, and, you know, like, we all want to talk about, because it's not been easy, let's face it, some days have been harder than others, and, you know, I don't want to sit here and say, oh, you know, it's all been great. And I know for some people it must be really, really tough. They must be so worried. You know, particularly businesses that aren't set to open. So, you know, if anybody wants to come on, share the story, and, you know, if we can offer support, you know, it's a platform as well to promote people that came along to that event, which we'll be doing more of over the summer, won't we? So,
absolutely, yeah. Okay. So I'll see you soon, Jill. It's been lovely to chat to you, and I'll speak to you very, very soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.